Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's me. So, we're gonna go over my thoughts on Peak's rebuttal video. He says it's not a rebuttal video. On top of being toxic, apparently he's pretty dumb, because if you go read the definition of what a rebuttal is, that's exactly what it is. I'm gonna try to keep this civil. I don't like the guy. I'm just gonna make that known. Some things he had to say about me without saying my name in his video. We're going to talk about that stuff, so there's going to be quite a bit we talk about here. And let's start off with the entire first half of his video, part one as he calls it. So he goes and he shows you, he says, oh, am I the most, like, Peak's a very charming dude. That's, part of his appeal. And he goes and he shows you, all this lovely stuff he does for the community, and he tells you all about his skill and the time he's invested in and having to learn software and having to get better at making videos, and he's just a hardworking guy is the way he wants to come off. But what he's not showing you is the negativity out of himself, the negativity out of his community. He's not showing you where he weaponizes his community and has them go attack people. He's not showing you his negative videos where he's just absolutely dumping on the community, on wargaming, on, and you're not seeing any of that. That's not what he's going to show you, obviously. He says there's two sides to every story. There is. There's the side I'm presenting and the side he's presenting. And he wants you to believe he's just this nice guy that, people have chips on their shoulder and grudges with for no reason, and that's not the case. That's not the case at all. There's plenty of this people in this community that are content creators, some with larger and bigger channels than his, better. And those people don't come under fire quite the way Peak is. And that's his own doing. That is what he's created. Um, when you're building a community around you and weaponizing them against somebody, and I've heard it said by his people that that's exactly what I'm doing. What I do and what Peak do are not the same things. I don't go after innocent people. I'm going after, and here's probably my one cuss word for the video, I'm going after a shitbag. I don't mind bullying the bullies. I really don't. And that's what he does. He bullies people. And I've sat back and I've watched it. And after I dropped my video, I can't tell you the countless amount of people that messaged me to tell me their stories of what Peak did to them, of how awfully he treated them, how he weaponized his community against a single individual. Peak's into doxing and doing horrible stuff to people. And maybe he doesn't do it directly, but there's people in his community that, are in high standing in his community that are part of that. And he full well knows it. Again, I'm all for free speech. But using your free speech that people have fucking died for to attack innocent people, is that really the best use of it? No, I don't think it is. But that's what he does. You know? Um, so that's the whole first half of his video is the damage control, trying to control his image and what people see about him. I'm just this great guy and everybody comes after me and I don't know why. And we're going to get into part two of the video and how some of that relates. But knowing the things that I know, hearing the stories that I've heard in the past 48 hours from people, to see him sit there and present himself like that is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. To sit there and know you're this how do I say it without using cuss words? Without just doing what I did in my first video and just telling the truth and saying what it is. You're that kind of human being. And you want to sit there and present like, oh, people just have an issue with you for no reason. No, there's a reason. You are horrible to a lot of people in this community. And you continue to be. Like, you're sitting there like, oh, you're so innocent, but, you're weaponizing your community against people as we speak. That's what your whole rebuttal video was today, turning your community against people who called you out for the horrible crap that you've done in your time in this community. What are we supposed to say about that? It's like a little politician lawyer tactic to just muddy the waters and spin things to have them come off instead of just taking ownership and saying, hey, yeah, I was an asshole. I'm sorry about that. I will do better from here on out. Or just not even acknowledging it and just doing better. But you won't do that. I know you won't. Peak won't do that. That's not his way. No, he'll just, keep trying to maintain his image and trying to turn his image. So then there was part 2 of his video. Part 2 was obviously discussing my video as well as some of the other community members that came out and started telling their experiences with Peak. And so for mine specifically, the way he addressed it, he tried to address it the way, there's basically 2 parts to part 2. There's him addressing me and giving, well, this is the reason why this person did this. And then there's him giving why everyone else jumped on the bandwagon. And initially, so like, let's take, all the smoke and mirrors down. Initially, Peak and his little stands tried to come at me with the same reason they used for everybody else and said, oh, you're just chasing clout. Well, I shut that down real quick because I said there's people with a lot bigger, better channels than you that if I asked them, hey, come do a collab with me, chances are they would come do a collab with me. So I don't need the clown clout that comes from Peak. And after a couple times of letting them know that, that stopped. We weren't calling me a clout chaser anymore. And it's the same for some of these other content creators. There's plenty of people they could reach out to and say, hey, could you come do a collab with me? And they would have it in a heartbeat. So they don't need him either. So, the whole second part of part 2 about these people are just chasing clout. No. People are tired of the garbage. People are tired of watching innocent people get attacked by a narcissistic, big-headed person who has a lot of power in the community and doesn't respect that power, doesn't understand how dangerous that power can be in the wrong hands, doesn't understand the responsibility they have. They want to turn their stream every night into a 4chan circus. And all the freaks are glad to join in. All the little, sadistic, like you go into some of those streams and it's a little feeding frenzy. And that's what it turned into after I dropped my video. That's what it turned into about me, a little feeding frenzy. And that's his community. That's what he's cultivated. That's what he's fostered. That's what he's surrounded by. And they know it. They're going to watch this rebuttal video today, and because they're so far gone, they're going to be like, oh, yeah, Peak, you're totally right. You're such a great guy. Like, no. No. No, you're not. And, to sit there and say, okay, so they were talking about me, And basically, you know, I was a longtime member of their community, and then this thing happened a month or two ago, and I all of a sudden just turned on them. Well, why not get into some detail about that? Why not? Why not talk about that when I first met you? All the things that I said in my last video, that's exactly what I thought you were when I first met you. And then you talked to me and you did your little charming thing and presented yourself as something different. And because we had mutual friends that came to me and were like, hey, the guy's cool, you know, give him a chance, I did that. And I became involved in your community, and at first you were pretty cool. But then, just like I said in my last video, Peak, your true colors came out. And that's why a month or two I turned on you. Because you took somebody who you wouldn't even exist without and turned on them. And then I started hearing other things from other people, Peak. That's why. It's not that hard. I gave you a chance. Yes, I did. So I was a member of your community. I was, just like you said, you know, I was supportive. I did everything I could for you, Peak. I tried to be a positive member of your community. I didn't exactly fit in because I'm not on the whole, like, 4chan, let's go bully somebody thing that your community so frequently takes part in. But I tried to support it, and I tried to support you. But when you started showing this is who I really am, unlike in your video today where, you know, you're just this nice guy that, you know, everybody's out to get, which is not the case. When your true colors came out, when the chips were down on the table, when the rubber met the road, that's when I found out who you were. And that's when I can't support you anymore. And beyond not supporting you, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to talk about this is who this person really is. Why shouldn't I, Peak? Why shouldn't people know? Why should I allow you to gain more power, to grow bigger, so you can hurt more people? So you can attack more people? Because you made a video about, you know, how to DD? You should be allowed to just attack anybody you want in the community? And you don't think that's toxic? Like, I'm not going off after a rando in my chat, Peak. I'm not going off on a rando I came across in the game. I'm going across you. You have a large community. You have a lot of power. Who am I? Who am I, Peak? But it doesn't matter, because I have integrity. And I do what's right. And not letting you pull the wool over everybody's eyes so that you can get even bigger and hurt more people seems logical to me. Very logical. And then, you know, for the final piece, you know, you're talking about everybody else that made videos is just chasing clout. No, not everybody else that made videos was just chasing clout, Peak. A lot of people saw my video, and that gave them the courage to come out and tell their stories of you. If you go watch any of those other videos, I don't know if you actually watched them or your stans just told you about them, but if you actually go watch them, they're talking about their stories of what you did. That's not chasing clout, Peak. That is their experiences with you. You know, again, I hope you grow up, but I don't think you will. And to put the crap out that you put out today is just ridiculous. It's damage control at its finest. That's all I have for you, YouTube. I'll catch you later. Bye.